Hello and welcome, it's Ruth here at Artful Stampin. So I've been asked to make a birthday card for a friend of mine, and I'm using a little bit of piece of the retired lemon lime twist which was with us a few years ago because that's the colour scheme that she wants. And I've decided to make quite a detail, I don't know, the theme is black and cream and lime, so I love the kind of contrast of those. So I'm going to be stamping this gorgeous, perfectly detailed image onto here, and I've placed my cardstock onto my stamparatus ready to go. I'm going to get the magnets and hold it there. Now, incidentally, if you ever buy the stamparatus and you're thinking, why hasn't mine got sticky tape on it like Ruth's? That's because I've added this gaffer tape, this pretty gaffer tape onto my magnets when I purchased it. And the reason I do that is just to make it easier to be able to lift up the magnets when they are stuck onto my stamparatus. Right, so I'm going to be using the Memento ink, the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And the beauty of using, not beauty, it's not quite the right word, but the useful thing about using the stamparatus when you're stamping quite a detailed image is that you can stamp it twice or even 3 times if you want a really nice dark colour. And I find with this ink that you do sometimes need to stamp it a few times if you want it really, really dark. So I'm going to push down there. Now, where's my little gadget to do my push? Oh, here it is. There we go. So I've created this gadget myself. You can do so as well with the lid of a glass jar, and I've just crocheted a little hat on it there to make it slide easier across my plate. And there we go. Oh, I just need to push that down a little bit more. And as I said, I'm just going to re-ink that up because I want it really nice and dark. So just giving that a really good squish. Now you can see I'm kind of twisting the ink pad here. You would not do that normally with the Stampin' Up inks because it's a foam pad. This is a fabric pad, so it's a little bit more tough and can cope with a bit of heavy handling. So I'm just going to push that down again. Give that a really good push down. There we go. See how that looks. Okay, I think one more time. Actually, probably if I just push down, there's a little stamen there that hasn't been done quite enough. Oh no, that one. Is there anywhere else that needs it? There we go. Just do it one more time. One more time. There we go. Love it. So my plan is to actually cover up a lot of this middle section. So I'm thinking I can use a little piece of that. If I cut out this flower, I can actually use that in my design. So I was thinking if I cut out a piece, some of these ovals in black and very vanilla, we can then, yes, as I say, use that section for the middle. Now the other thing I'd like to do is once I've cut this down to the size that I want, I'm thinking I might stamp out a few more leaves because it'd be quite nice to cut those out and use them. So my piece of cardstock actually measures 14 by 14 across like so, and I want to get it cut down a little bit so that the margins kind of match properly. And I'm thinking to take that down to 19 centimetres. Oops, the blade popped out then. All right, that's perfect. So that's really nice and centrally positioned. Just going to set that aside just for a sec, and I'm going to see if I can, might be able to stamp some of those leaves. So just going to pop just this scrap piece of grid paper. Well, it's not a scrap piece actually, it's the grid paper that you can purchase to go with your stamparatus, and I'm just going to stamp that down so I get a rough idea of where this leaf is. And I'm going to place that leaf, sorry, my piece of cardstock there. Oh, come on. Oh, my ink pad lid wouldn't come off. And I'm just going to ink up that leaf all by itself and stamp that on. My magnet collided with my stamp pen. Give that a little bit of a wiggle. Give it a little bit more. A little bit more inky love. Right, so I think I'll stamp another one and then come back to you. So here I have got several dies from the Petal, no, hold on, gotta get the right name, Framed Florets die set. And I've also grabbed out a retired number set and the, designer tags dies. This has got some lovely tags, but it's also got a really pretty butterfly and a nice leaf as well. So I'm just rolling that through, cutting some basic black cardstock, and because I want to roll it back again, I'm putting my hand on the piece that's coming out just to hold it really tight so it doesn't jump, so that I can then push it back through the other side and not worry about my dies jumping. So that's just a little tip if you think, oh, I do want to roller that through a couple of times. So roller it through, but then put your hand at the other side, stop it jumping, then roll it back through again. Because, you know, when you've set out your die so nicely, an annoying thing that can happen is that they jump and then you end up with something that's distorted a little bit. So there we go, we've got gorgeous black frame there, my lovely leafy section here, and an oval with I know it's got a leaf cut out, but we might be able to use that for something. Got my lovely another frame there. Oh, so my butterfly did jump. Oh, there was me being super careful. Yeah, my butterfly did jump. So sometimes that does happen. Just trying to find my pokey little pokey tool, useful thing it is. So I'm going to poke these all out and redo the butterfly and come back. Right, I have a gorgeous little pile of cut out elements here, and I was just going to see if that would look good mounted onto a piece of black cardstock. So I think I will create a card base of basic black, and then I will stick a panel of Very Vanilla into the center of it when I've done. So I'm going to cut my card base to so it's 14.5 centimeters by 14.5. Oh, my blade's just dropped out. I just let it fall on the floor. Oh well, I'll come. Bear with. Right, found it. Right, and then I'm going to cut it here at 14.5. So if you wanted to make a similar size card out of inches, you're looking at, oh, did the wrong one, at 5 3/4 inches wide. Oh, there we go. Right, sorry. I'm using my old trimmer that the blades aren't the same colour as what they come when you purchase it from Stampin' Up. Right. I'm going to place that on there just to see where I want to cut that down to. Oh, I better get the measurement just in case somebody asks me. So I'm looking at 19.5 centimeters or 7 3/4 inches. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks gorgeous. Love that. Right, so before I stick down this central panel, I'm just going to have a little play with the different frames that I've got here. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to cut out that flower from the middle and use it on my design. So let's just see if that would work. Ooh, yes. Okay, so I can't cut out the leaves because the leaves are still kind of showing, but I can cut out that flower from there. So I'm going to do that very, very carefully. Now our snips are really sharp, so you can just sort of pierce the card, and I'm just going to do a rough cutting out as close as I dare, and then I will fussy cut the flower out really carefully once that is out. So let's just double check. Oh yeah, no problem. That covers that up completely, so no one will ever know. Right, let's fussy cut this up. So I have fussy cut this up, and to add a little bit of extra depth to my flower, I'm going to use the dark Parakeet Party Stampin' Blend just to add some shading to my flower. Now, just to remind you that the cardstock I used was Lemon Lime Twist, which is a colour from a few years ago, which is probably a shade lighter than Parakeet Party. So this is Parakeet Party and this is Lemon Lime Twist, and so you can see that it's a little bit lighter. Sorry, I forgot to cut this little section out. There we go. So I know some of you out there have got like Stampin' Up museums, and you've collected some of these lovely older colours that have left us. That's also just a reminder to you that the in colours will be changing with the new catalogue in May, so it's worth stocking up on any of your favourite in colours. So those would be Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen, Pale Papaya, and Polished Pink. And is there one more? Is it Fresh Freesia maybe? Whatever's not this year's, or last year's rather. Do go and check back. And if you love the inks, then get the re-inker. All right, so you can see how that's made quite a difference. That's given me a lovely amount of depth onto there. And now I've done that, I'm actually wondering whether to go in and do some added detail just on some of these flowers here. So I'm just roughly colouring in the centres in a kind of like spray formation to give them some added detail. Now I don't need to pay any attention to these leaves because they're going to be covered up. Excuse me. Those ones maybe. I know these details will be barely noticeable, but I know that they're there. So I've just realised I've got a little bit of an ink blemish just there. So whenever this happens, I get my emery board, my nail file, and I just give that a little bit of a file down, because obviously you can't just get rid of ink. But if it's just the top layer that's affected, you can sometimes file it away. Right, there we go. Now, do I start sticking this down? I think I will. So I'll bring my card base back in. Scoot out a little bit. Make sure my glue's working. Give that a bit of a spread. That came out all of a sudden then. So remember that you've got a bit of a spreader on the other side of your tombow. That's what it's there for. I know some of you never investigate your other side of your tombow, but yeah, that's what it's there for. Right, let's get that stuck down. There we go. Right, I know that some of these have still got their, you see there, it's still got some little pieces stuck in there. So I'm just going to quickly remove those because otherwise the detail doesn't show through. So thank you for watching today, everybody. As I said, I'm away for a few days, so I have pre-recorded these for you. Those of you who are expecting a video a day. Right. So I'm going to very carefully put a little bit of glue along here. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe. I often go live, but sometimes pre-record videos. Many moons ago, when I first started on YouTube, everything was pre-recorded. But nowadays, with technology and going live, it's been really lovely to have that interaction, live interaction. And I do miss it when I'm just filming a video. But it means that you get to see a project a bit quicker than normal. Right, so, oh no, was it that piece? No, that one. So I'm going to pop that panel into there. Now, I'm in two minds whether to use this piece, because I've got some lovely black leaves I kind of want to show off a bit. And I feel that if I have a thicker black outline, it won't show up so much. I also have got to remember to put the 65 on here because it's someone's 65th birthday. So I did cut that out of Parakeet Party and the basic black and thought I could layer those up. Maybe have those offset because we want to make room for this gorgeous flower that I've got here. Give that a little bit of a shape. There we go. I think that there would look amazing. And then I've got some of these lovely black leaves. Also got this beautiful black butterfly. I also cut some out of very vanilla, just to sort of see what would look good. Anyway, let's get sticking this down. Now you could use dimensionals for this, but because I know I'm going to be layering up quite a bit with all the different pieces, I figured that it's probably good just to get it stuck down. And I'm going to double layer these. This I might actually stick with dimensionals, have the numbers stuck a bit higher. Sorry that I'm using retired product, but sometimes Stampin' Up! Come along with a really useful product for people who do make a lot of cards and are likely to make number cards. So look out for those when Stampin' Up! Sell them. I know at the moment they've got a set of letters that are quite large. So it's worth considering investing in those big ticket items if you know that you're going to be making a lot of personalised cards. So there we go. Just going to give that a little bit of a squish with my bone folder that I can't find. Oh, there it is. I just want to get rid of some of those markings. Unfortunately, when you put them through the die machine, sometimes you get a little bit of a mark on the numbers or letters and so forth. So you can get rid of that using your bone folder. There we go. Right, so that's stuck down, that's stuck down. I might save that for a rainy day. Let's have a look at these lovely detailed leaves that I've got here. Now again, just do need to poke out some of these pieces so that you see the detail. Don't stab your hand when you're doing it. Bit of hand acupuncture there. Quite like the contrast with that on the very vanilla there. And then I've got these other little leaf sprigs. That could tuck into there. I'm sure I had 2 of those, but maybe not. Just double check. Right, well I know I've got some of these anyway, so some of these can tuck under. Just doing a little bit of a layout before I stick it all down, so I know roughly where I'm headed with it. Make sure I get these the right way up. 65, not 95. And I wonder if it might be quite nice to have a little very vanilla butterfly there. I accidentally cut the end off of that one. So I could use this one, but I'd have to tuck it under something so that it wasn't so obvious. I'm also thinking that I might get out the old Winker Stella, because the whole idea was for it to look slightly pearlescent. Right, I also have a couple of these fabulous leaves. So where's my tweezers? I'm going to give these a bit of a tweak. So I've got my Winker Stella here. I'm going to give all these butterflies a nice little coating. A bit of shimmer there. Oh, I've got a feeling this is one of my old ones. Oh, found a new one. Here we go. Just set that aside to dry for a sec. Oh, actually, if I layer put some of this onto the black card, or the black leaves, it will help those to show up a little bit better as well. Maybe a little bit in the middle. Decided not to go all over in that one. Just a little bit. Oh, and I think the 65 has got to have a little bit of shimmer on it. So you do have to give it a bit of a squeeze to push down the shimmer. Oh, it's looking fab. Love it. Just need to find my black dimensionals now. Right, let's get this number in place. Right, I've got my little mini black dimensionals on the back of there. Oh dear, come back. So I've got these. Just offset to the side there, like that. Then I'm going to put 4 mini ones on the flower. And once the flower is in place, that will then help determine where to put all the other different elements. I'll just take that section off because I don't actually need it. Sometimes the long stems can be a bit of a hindrance. So just break them off if you don't need them. Now I do want to use these at some point. That can go there and there, I think. Oh, and I forgot I did cut some green ones. This was out of Parakeet Party, not the lemon lime twist. It's a nice different texture in there. So before I stick these leaves in, I want to give these a bit of a twist. Just give them a bit of life. I'm just going to stick a couple of these smaller dimensionals just to the base. Right, nearly there. Just got to put our lovely shimmery butterflies in there. A little bit of space for a leaf. Right, I think this one can be glued on. Just going to hold it down for a few seconds. And this one can have a dimensional on it, but I'm going to cut it to size because it's quite a narrow section there. So what we need now is some bling and some pearls. I love being able to raid some of my retired stash for embellishing cards, and I found this one that's got, it's like a pale green but it's got a bit of gold in it, and then these are some pearls going way back. This is the new configuration of the pearls, but these are going back quite a while. So I'm thinking, what can I put on my butterflies just to make them a little bit extra special? Do I put those on? Oh yeah, they look good. So I'm going to put a big one at the head there, maybe with a smaller one underneath it for the body. Then I don't know whether to do a cluster of 3 in the centre of the flower, just different, two large and one small there. Then I've got all these lovely pearls, and I was wondering whether or not to put some sort of on the borders really. So we've got this lovely scroll here, and I wondered whether to put a little pearl at the sort of where the scroll finishes. So this is really helpful when a design kind of tells you where to put the embellishments. I'm not saying it is telling us, but you've got a repetitive design, and once you've decided you're going to put one on, you just got to keep going until they're all covered up. I don't need to do that one. That one's hidden, but I will do that one. And although I'm not super into, you know, doing things really symmetrically, sometimes it's nice to have that there, just to kind of like bring it all together. And I'm not really bringing attention to the corners that much, but I've added that lovely little hint of embellishment there. And then what we can do is just have some pearls nestled in here and there into the design, around and about. Quite like the idea of them peeking out as well. They don't always have to be completely on show. No, I think I'm all right. Right, there you have it. My very special 65th birthday card for a friend of a friend. And yeah, so let's just quickly go over the products then. So I did use Lemon Lime Twist for the background piece, which was a retired colour from a few years ago, but I have used Parakeet Party, which is absolutely sufficient. So if you want to have a go doing it with Parakeet Party, you can. And I used the gorgeous blah 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 blah. Oh, I forgot the name of it. Oh, right, perfectly detailed. Excuse me, perfectly detailed to stamp. Then I used a variety of different dies. So I've got the framed florets dies to do the ovals and some of the leaves. And if you don't have this one, designer tags dies, then just grab yourself another butterfly die that you may have in your stash, and that leaf there, you know, you don't have to have that one specifically, because this frame florets one has got these lovely leaves here and that one there. The die for the flowers sadly has retired, but if you look around on some of those secondhand websites, you may be able to find it. It's called Large Numbers, and it is from a number of years ago. It's when Stampin' Up and Sizzix used to work together, and it's 140622. So I'm sorry about that. What else did I use? Basic black. I will put a layer of Very Vanilla inside there before I give it away, or send it away rather. And also use the basic pearls to just do a bit of decor. And then these gems are retired from a few years ago, but you may find something in your stash to use instead. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Let me know what you think about it. Do you like the colour scheme, or is it a bit too bright for you? And do you know someone who would like it? Take care for now.